He's losing his ears. Good morning. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Ellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. Tristan's very excited about his bunny tail. So today is Easter. It's also part of Passover, so happy Easter, happy Passover. And to be non-denominational here, and because I love them, we're going to talk about rabbits today because I love bunnies. And if you are a bunny lover, on my website is an interview I did with the head of the House Rabbit Society when we had our radio show a couple years ago. Bunnies make terrible Easter gifts, and they make wonderful pets for the right person, not a kid usually. So I'll tell you some of my rabbit stories today, although I don't want to hold Tristan's tail on for the whole time. So what we have here, and nor do I want to wear ears the whole time, what we have here is Cozy Snuffy. That's his actual name. He's a stiff bunny. He's very little, very soft. And we had an adventure with Cozy Snuffy many years ago. The original Cozy Snuffy was a present to me from my ex-husband when we went into New York City. We went to the FAO Schwartz store, huge toy store, and they had stiff animals, which I'm obsessed with, some of, bunnies more than anything. And he bought me this bunny back in the early 80s. Well, fast forward a couple years, we're married. We have our wedding gifts in the back of our car. We're in New York City, a few streets up from where his parents lived on Park Avenue, parking in sort of a bad part of town. And we had planned to be out of the car for only a moment or two, but it turned into like 45 minutes. We came back to the car to discover our wedding presents, such as they were in the back seat. Cozy Snuffy were gone, and several of the windows in the Volvo were broken, and about $4 in change were taken. And we were lucky the car was still there, honestly. And we had had quite an argument about whether we should park there, and needless to say, Jack always listened to where I thought we should park after that. His parents had a garage. We could have parked there, but it was a little bit out of the way. So bye-bye original Cozy Snuffy. And this is a theme that's played out in my life with my first Corgi, some of my horses. There's always the second one. So we tore downtown to the FAO Schwartz. Now, people who don't know that company very well may not realize that, they make these bunnies for like a year or two, and then there's no more bunnies. We ran through that store, and I'm hysterical. I mean, I love my Cozy Snuffy. And we finally found one Cozy Snuffy left in the entire store, which we rescued and brought home, and that is this guy here. So years later, we got a divorce. I'm in Europe. I want to go to the stiff factory because I love these animals so much. My original stiff bunnies were these two guys. Their names are Hopple, and I don't know what this one's called. But anyway, they are just little itty-bitty bunnies, very much like the bunnies in our Beatrice Potter stories that we love. And so I go to Europe. I want to buy a bunny at the factory. I go to Stuttgart in Germany just to go to get stiff animals. Well, you can't go in the factory. I never met any of the people that tie the bows on the bunnies, a job I thought would be fun. Now that I'm older, I realize the arthritis you get from bunny bow tying would be tremendous. But I go back to Holland, and I go in a toy store with a little kid who was teaching me English. We thought it would be fun to go in the toy store and have her show me things and teach me their names in Dutch. Hopple was in there. He looks like Cozy Snuffy, but he's actually quite different. He's bigger. He's not really as cute. And he's a little coarser fluff. See his big bump in his back? He really is more like some of the Dutch breeds of rabbits than this guy. So we had to get Hopple. Let's see. Hopple Haza, surface wash only. So here he is, another generation of rabbit. And since that time, I don't really collect rabbits at all anymore, and I haven't bought a new stuffed rabbit since Hopple time, I don't think. maybe somewhere. I can't say never, but I don't think I have. And we don't have so many rabbits in our house, but you know, you can't help but notice how much a Corgi looks like a bunny, especially when he's got his rabbit tail on him. So maybe I still have bunnies. So one of the things about rabbits and Easter for me, the peeps, my sister and I love, and we eat plenty of them, and they are really good in hot chocolate and also roasted over an open flame and made into a s'more. They're delicious that way. But it's the spring. Easter, you know, all these holidays, it's no coincidence that they all kind of correspond in their dates, so that we're always celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas and Passover and Easter and spring and solstice and winter at similar time periods, because when these holidays became more popular, we just combined a whole bunch of different holidays into one. And so the rabbit and chick part of Easter comes from some of the pagan rituals that were blended into these holidays to sort of assimilate the masses in ancient times. And, you know, in the times that we're living in right now, spring is a very hopeful time of the year. You're looking ahead. Everybody has dreams of how great the summer will be. If you've suffered a long winter with poor crops, and nothing to eat, you know that pretty soon the garden will be blossoming and you will have food. So spring is a very, very hopeful time of year. And you know, the winter has often been associated with dormancy and sort of mulling things over and looking inward and making plans. And the spring is when you start to put those plans into fruition and into action. And that's what's going to be happening after this time of our quarantine. People are going to miss their family time. They may institute family game nights, family craft nights that they never did before. Many of us have innovated ways to be at home alone in ways that we never thought we could. You know, making costumes for our dogs and things like that. He's a cute bunny. And many of us who didn't have a garden before may have started a garden. I have some friends that are growing lettuce on their windowsill because they really are scared to go to the grocery store, and one day they'll be able to get the lettuce off of the windowsill. And I had a balcony once with boxes of lettuce on it, and it fed me lunch and dinner for an entire summer, and I'm trying to replicate that. So spring is a time of birth and renewal and happiness and looking forward, and just really sort of a good thing is coming. And so let's use that feeling of this holiday, no matter what your spiritual beliefs may be, to propel us forward through this time that is so difficult for so many. And we know that we will come out the other side of this better and stronger than we were when we came in. So thanks for joining us today for this episode of Conversations with a Corgi who's a bunny. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great day and happy Easter, Passover, spring, whatever you're celebrating. Thanks for joining us.